This is a 1967 Triumph Spitfire Mark III. It has a 1.3-liter engine. The Mark III, introduced in March 1967, was the first major facelift to the Spitfire. The front bumper was raised in response to new crash regulations, and the front coil springs were slightly raised. Slightly revised bonnet pressings were carried over. Rear overriders were deleted and bumper-mounted reversing lights became standard, initially as two separate lights on either side of the number plate, latterly as a single light in a new unit above the number plate. The interior received a wood veneer instrument surround and a smaller, 15-inch, wire-spoked steering wheel. A folding hood replaced the earlier, more complicated design. For most of the Mark III range, the instrument cluster remained center-mounted, as in the Mark I and Mark II, easily accommodating right-hand and left-hand drive versions. The 1,147 cubic centimeters engine was replaced with a bored-out 1,296 cubic centimeters unit, the bore increasing from 69.3 mm, 2.73 in, to 73.7 mm, 2.90 in, stroke retained at 76 mm, 3.0 in, as fitted on the new Triumph Herald 13/60ths and Triumph 1300 saloons. A new quieter exhaust gave a sweet distinct note and reduced cabin noise. In SU twin carburetor form, the engine put out a claimed 75 brake horsepower, 56 kilowatts, at 6,000 rpm, and 75 pound-foot, 102 Nm, of torque at 4,000 rpm, and made the Mark III a comparatively quick car by the standards of the day. Citation needed. Options included wire wheels, factory hardtop and a Laycock de Normanville overdrive. The Mark III was the fastest Spitfire yet, achieving 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, in 13.4 seconds, and reaching a top speed of 95 miles per hour, 153 kilometers per hour. Average fuel consumption was 33 miles per gallon. The Mark III continued production into 1971, well after introduction of the Mark IV. Interior. On the 8th of February 1968, Standard Triumph General Manager George Turnbull drove the 100,000th Triumph Spitfire off the Canley production line. More than 75% of this number had been exported outside the UK, including 45% to the US and 25% to mainland European markets. The 1968 model featured dual system, aka tandem, brakes with a brake failure warning device. The engine used a revised camshaft and a distributor with idle speed ignition timing retarded to address emissions. The twin SU carburetors now included overrun valves in the throttle discs and anti-tampering features on carburetor fuel-air mixture nuts. Starting in 1969, US-bound models were federalized to comply with safety and emissions regulations. A reduced compression ratio of 8.5 to 1 resulted in a slight decrease in power, 68 brake horsepower, and 73 foot-pounds of torque. However, the 0 to 60 time of 14 seconds was still faster than the Mark II. The instrument panel was moved in front of the driver, and new seats were introduced with integrated headrests to help against whiplash. Cosmetically, the wood dash was replaced with a matte black finished assembly intended to imitate an aircraft cockpit. The Mk3's final production year, 1970, included an integrated rear reverse and license plate lamp, side lamps at the front and rear and new badging. The separate Triumph letters on the front of the bonnet were removed and Triumph and Spitfire rectangular badges were used in the front, rear sides and rear. A limited number of US market 1970s were adorned with an RAF-style Spitfire badge. UK models had a plain badge without the RAF roundel that rested in the right corner, car opposing point of view, of the bonnet. Additional exterior changes introduced included a zip-up rear window, black radiator grille and a black, VS body-colored, windscreen surround. Full wheel covers of two styles were used, including the 1969 introduced model with Spitfire, circumscribing the hub, and a unique derivative without the branding. Interior changes included a steering column mounted ignition switch, key in ignition warning buzzer, driver's side underdash courtesy lamp, and a new black spoked steering wheel. Under the bonnet, some markets had the twin SU carburetors replaced with a single Zenith Stromberg carburetor. If you have liked the video, please like and subscribe.